Hello students, so welcome to the discussion on Daily Nuggets 12. This time the theme is medical science. So I have picked up this from a blog. Actually, I have picked it from a blog of BBC on the science. So let us see. These were the 5 questions and the 5 answers. You can just quickly have a look and see how many did you get right. Okay. Now, this was the passage. If you want to read it once more, you can read. You can try to recall what the passage was about, and then we will go to my analysis. All right. So this passage is about a research that scientists have carried and their findings. So what does it talk about? The scientists in Cambridge have rejuvenated a 53-year-old women's skill cell. So they are equivalent to a 23-year-old. So what they have done is they have rejuvenated. They have given some new look to the skin cells of a 53-year-old woman. And this looks like now the skin cell is of some 23-year-old person. And these are the important things. Now they believe that they can do the same thing with other tissues in the body. The eventual aim is to develop treatment for age-related disease such as diabetes, heart disease, and neurological orders. So scientists have got some breakthrough, and with this breakthrough, they hope to achieve something big in the coming future for the age-related disease. So that's the basic context in which the passage has been written. And then it talks about the head of the team, Professor Wolf-Rieck, told that he hoped that the technique could eventually be used to keep people healthier for longer as they grow old. So continuation of what was being discussed previously. These are the lines which Professor Wolf-Rieck has said. Then the professor also said that that the work was at very early stage. He said there were several scientific issues to overcome before it could move out of his lab and into the clinic. So the first 3 paragraphs are about the breakthrough and what it can perhaps achieve, what is the belief of the scientist, and what are the scientist views on the obstacles on the way. So it says that there are few issues to be overcome. Then the next 2-3 paragraphs are the factual things that how this technique originated. So it talks about in 1990s, the dolly technique was used, through which the cloned ship was created, and Roslin Institute did that. Then in 2006, there was some other evolution in the technology, which was carried by Professor Shinya Yamanaka. The name doesn't matter, but just the 4th paragraph talks about how this technique was further used. And the second last paragraph, this talks about that the latest technique is simply the transition or the carry forward of what has been used previously. The last paragraph talks about the same thing which Professor Rieck has told earlier, that the cells can perhaps be used. However, there are things to be overcome. Now, if you look at such kind of passage, author does not give his own judgment here. Now, there is no line which can be called as author's judgment. Everything is factual in nature. What he has done is he has cited the work of scientists. So view of scientist is important here. So because the work of scientist is being discussed, Professor Wolf-Rieck, I'm talking about his work, is being discussed, and of course there might be a team of scientists behind him, but particularly Professor Wolf-Rieck, his work has been discussed, and so his views are more important, right? So in this, there is no such thing as author's judgment. We have done a similar kind of passage in I think at least 2 daily nuggets before, wherein author is citing someone else's work. You will find such kind of articles typically related to science or review of a literature work, something of that sort. Now, coming to the content, what is the content of the passage? Because now we are trying to find out the main idea. Content is scientists have rejuvenated skin cells. So this is the basic content that they have rejuvenated skin cell of a 53-year-old. What is judgment? Judgment of the scientist is important here because, as I said, author is not giving judgment. He has written it from the point of view of the scientist, that they believe it will be helpful in treating age-related disease, but have obstacles to overcome. So this is the judgment of the scientist. In between, a lot of facts were given. The things in yellow is judgment of scientist, right? And things in blue are facts about the process. So this paragraph, and the third paragraph, that's 4, 5, 6, paragraph number 4, 5, and 6 are basically the facts in nature. Okay, so it talks about the process of dolly technique and the IPS technique and the latest technique what they have done now. So the paragraph has facts and the judgment of the scientist working on that. What is the writing style? Writing style is expository and factual. Why I'm saying both? Because it's very difficult to categorize it in one. It has a lot of facts, and facts do form an important element in this particular passage, because author himself is not giving any judgment. He has quoted the other person here, and by quoting the other person, he has tried to explain what is happening, right? So it is a factual passage and with element of explanation in it. Let us go to the questions and see. First, with respect to dolly technique and its team of researchers, all of the following are true except. Now, the dolly technique and its team of researchers, it's being talked about here. The aim of the team was to create clones of ship. Let us see what is being mentioned. This is something which is not there in the passage. Let us see what was mentioned regarding this. Edinburgh developed a method of turning an adult mammary gland cell taken from ship into an embryo. It led to the creation of Dolly, the clone ship. The Rosalind team's aim was not to create clones of ship or indeed humans, but to use the technique to create so-called, So this was not the aim. So this is not true. Answer is A. Let us look how others are true. The technique involved use of adult mammary gland cell of ship. Yes, given. The team hoped to replace worn out body parts with their creation. Yes, this was their hope. This they hope could be grown into specific tissues such as this. So this is given to replace the worn out body parts with their creation. D. The technique laid the foundation for the future work in the field. Yes, this technique was later on used in 2006. It was made simpler in 2006. However, it was the one that laid the foundation of the work in 2006 also, and of course the latest work, because if you read the origins of the technique system, so the origin is dolly technique. So even this is given. A is opposite of what is being mentioned, so we can safely say A is not true. Question 2. Which of the following is true with respect to stem cells? They have the potential to develop into many different type of cells in the body. That's what is given in the passage. That's what their assumption is. That's what the scientists are assuming, that if they have got a breakthrough with the skin cell of a 53-year-old woman, they can use this technique for other age-related problems also. B. They are rarely used in treating disease as their usage increases risk. Their usage increases risk of cancer. Is it so? Let us see what is being mentioned about cancer. Now, this is mentioned that despite decades of effort, the use of stem cells to treat disease is currently extremely limited. So we can say they are rarely used in treating. This part is fine. Let us look about the cancer part. It is mentioned with respect to IPS. The technique cannot immediately be translated into the clinic because the IPS method increases the risk of cancer. The IPS method increases the risk of cancer. So this is a scrambled option. This is not with respect to stem cell, that stem cells increases the risk of cancer. It is with respect to IPS that is mentioned. So this cannot be the answer. See, there is a new fad of preserving stem cells so as to use them in future. This is true, but true in real world, not as per the passage. True in real world, it's out of scope thing, not mentioned in the passage. So there might be the case that people now want to preserve the stem cell, but this is not given in the passage, out of scope. Answer is option number A. Next, which of the following demonstrates the attitude of Professor Wolf-Rieck towards the latest technique of rejuvenating skin cells? Optimistic, cautious, both A and B, neither A nor B. Obviously, he is optimistic. He has said that the eventual aim is to develop treatment of that's what the scientists are saying. Actually, the eventual aim is to develop treatment of age-related disease. This is what professor has said. We have been dreaming about this kind of things. Many common diseases get worse with age, and to think about helping people in this way is super exciting. He is optimistic. Even in the end, he's optimistic about it. He was confident that now it was known, it is possible to rejuvenate cells. So he is definitely optimistic about the future. He is also cautious. His caution comes from this particular place. Several scientific issues to overcome before it could be moved out of lab into his clinic. He said that work was at a very early stage. So he's saying the work is still at very early stage, and there are issues to be overcome. So he is cautious in his approach towards this, although he is optimistic that we will find a way to do it. So answer is both A and B. Fourth, which of the following, if true, will cast doubt on the belief and the ultimate aim of the scientist as mentioned in the first paragraph? So the belief of the scientist and ultimate aim. The belief of the scientist is that they can do the same thing with other tissues in the body. And aim is to develop the treatments for age-related disease such as this. All right, let us see. Comparatively, it is difficult to develop treatment of diabetes than to rejuvenate the skin cells. Okay, so how is it casting doubt? Now, what the first paragraph is saying, that using the technique that they have found, they will develop treatment of age-related disease. This technique will be used in age-related disease. This is what their belief is. Are they talking about how easy or difficult it will be to do? They are not. If they are not, then why will this cast doubt on their belief? Nothing of anything is meant of this sort is mentioned, which suggests which suggests to me that the technique is easy or difficult. So so this doesn't cast doubt at all. Their belief is simple, that they can develop the other tissues in the body, and it can be used for age-related disease. Difficulty level is not mentioned. Scientists in past too have unsuccessfully tried to develop the treatment of age-related disease. So does that cast doubt on their belief? No, because they are not talking about what things have happened in the past. Now they have found something new, and they believe that with this they can find a solution to age-related disease. So be it that in the previous eras, or the scientists of the bygone years, they have not been able to successfully develop it, but that doesn't mean that it can never be developed. So this again doesn't cast doubt, because they are using some new technique, all right, which has not been used. See, the process of rejuvenation of cell is short-lived, and the cells go back to their original state soon. Now, this is something which is casting doubt. How is it casting doubt? Because their entire belief is based on the fact that a skin cell of 53-year-old women has been rejuvenated. And because it has been rejuvenated, they can use this technique to solve the bigger problems. Now, if C is true, that the process of rejuvenation is short-lived, means that although cells have been rejuvenated, but very soon they will go back to their original form or the original state. That is the skin cell of the 23 skin cell, which resembles that of 23-year-old, will soon go back to the 53-year-old women's skin cell, right? So if this becomes true, the entire belief of the scientists that they will be able to solve age-related disease will come into question mark, and that is why C is the right answer. Let us look at D. There are not many patients who ail from age-related disease such as diabetes, heart disease, and neurological orders. Very tempting option. In fact, all the options are very tempting. Now, have they talked about that in the first paragraph, have they talked about that there are many people who are ailing from such disease, and this is going to be helpful to the human being, or so on and so forth, or humanity? They have not talked about. They have simply told that it will be useful in age-related disease. Plus, the other thing is that you cannot cast a doubt simply by falsifying the statements mentioned in the passage. That is not casting the doubt. Casting the doubt means you have to find the loophole in the logic or tell that there could be some other problem which they have not seen. So answer is option number C here. Fifth, which of the following happening will make the scientist most happy with respect to the latest technique? Now the only obstacle that scientists see is that it is at a very early stage, and there is associated risk of disease, cancer. That is, the technique cannot immediately be translated to the clinic because this increases the risk of the cancer. That is the other thing that has been mentioned. So there are obstacles with respect to it. So which will make them happy? Funding from the governments and the corporates so as to carry more research. The passage doesn't suggest to me that they lack funding, although anybody will like funding to happen, but the passage doesn't suggest to me that. So this shouldn't be the answer. A breakthrough that significantly reduces risk of aging and its related disease. So if they get some breakthrough which reduces risk of aging and its related disease, this will make them very happy because that is what their ultimate aim is. All right, so this looks a good option. C, a process that helps them cut short chemical bath from 12 days to 6 days. Now they have already cut it from 50 days to 12 days, and cutting it down to 6 days. I mean, that might not be useful. Their immediate concern is that technique cannot be immediately translated to clinic. So this cannot be the answer because from 12 days to 6 days is not helping. Better than C is obviously we have got choice B, because that's what their aim is, that they do something that reduces risk of aging and its related disease. In fact, now if you look closely, it's a risk of aging. They have not talked about risk of aging. They have actually talked about risk of age-related disease, but it looks a tempting option to mark. And that's where the drawback is. It's not about risk of aging. The passage talks about treatment for age-related disease. The scientists are not trying to control the aging part. Okay. D, a finding that helps to significantly reduce the risk of cancer associated with the technique. Now, this is their immediate concern, and they believe that because of this risk, they are not able to implement it into the clinic. And if this risk can be associated risk can be significantly reduced, then they may they may implement it in the clinic, and this is what is going to make them more happy than any other thing. The question also talks about the latest technique, and this is related to latest technique. B has couple of problems, as I said. One is the risk of aging. That's not their concern. They are not against aging. They are against age-related disease. And two, it is not related to, option B is not related to the technique that is being talked about. So that is it. I hope you enjoyed solving this passage. Thank you very much.